This is Shawn from WOD, and I'm with Chris Masters, the Masterpiece. And you are watching WOD on the Boom broadcast. Let's go. Hello, friends, and welcome to WOD today. It is Saturday, and thank you for tuning to the pre-show for tonight's WWE Saturday Night Main Event. Following that will be the nightcap with my good friend Mountain Off with Mike as he breaks down what happened on the Saturday Night event. And just remember, as a reminder, if you did like some of my friends did, and when WWE took Raw to Netflix, said, hey, there's no reason to keep this Peacock subscription. I don't need it no more. Then you better stop right now. Hit the pause button. Go on the Peacock app. Resubscribe because you will not be able to watch WWE's premium live event tonight, Saturday Night event. And before we get into any type of predictions for the Saturday Night Main Event, there's a young lady in WWE who's a former women's champ. She's a former WWE Women's Champ and World Heavyweight Champion WWE as far as the women's division. She's been a WWE Tag Team Champ in the women's division, and she's somebody who's kind of been a pillar, but one of those pillars that if you look at a building, you may see the main pillars that keep the building afloat in the women's division, but she's one of those ones that's a pillar that you don't pay no mind to, but did a lot to keep the program going. Remember a time when they put her in the Firefly Funhouse with Bray Wyatt as Sister Abigail. If you know what I'm talking about, just giving that right there lets you know. Alexa Bliss, 5 Foot of Fury, somebody who I really like in WWE, is upset and going through some contract negotiation right now. And if things don't work out, she could be departing for another promotion, whether it's going to the adjoining partner, TNA. You remember Trinity Fatu did that. She went to TNA, known as Naomi. She went to TNA and reinvented herself in TNA, had a great TNA Knockouts women's division run over there before she came back to WWE. Could Alexa Bliss test the water? We have seen Triple H right now pulling talent from AEW, from Penta. The Cody was the first one to go. Penta's left. You got Ray Phoenix sitting over there like looking at the clock. Hey, when is my time to go? I'm ready to go. So many people over there on that AEW roster who's just walking around the backstage collecting a paycheck or not showing up to TV collecting a paycheck saying, hey, I was in WWE during the Vinnie Mac era, and I wasn't used, but I could go back now in this Triple H era and become a icon megastar. Look at what he's done for Cody Rhodes, which Cody Rhodes was a brand name after he left and made himself on the indies. He cut his teeth on the indies, made himself a household brand, took it to AEW to help found that, left AEW to jump back to WWE home, and look at Cody now. He's exactly what he thought he was 20 years ago when he first came in. And I remember he said, I am a varsity type of guy, but Vinnie Mac treats me as a JV guy. Just give me a chance to take the keys to the kingdom and run with the ball. Vinnie Mac wouldn't do it. Look at Cody now. He's all over. Look at how he's packaged Penta right now. Penta in AEW was a tag specialist. But you remember Penta was a single special before he teamed up with Ray Phoenix. Triple H has made Penta's presentation and his presence, the aura all around him is just magnificent right now. And if you're other people in AEW, you're thinking that. So if I'm Alexa Bliss, I'm starting to think hard. Do I want to jump ship and go to AEW when there's a lot of talent over there not being used? Dr. Britt Baker. Imagine what she could do. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, in NXT. Wreaking havoc in that women's division, NXT. Wreaking havoc in the WWE, SmackDown, or Raw's women's division. there's another guy, Miro, walking around that backstage. And I was thinking about this today after I was listening to Drop the Mic. Well, shout out to the prayers, Michael B. Davis. I listened to that on Drop the Mic today. He shouted Miro out, and I thought about it. Remember when Rusev Day was so over in WWE? I mean, I remember the time I went to a live show in Virginia. And when I walked in, the two things you heard the crowd was saying was New Day Rock when I first came in. But about 10 minutes with everybody gathered in, the whole crowd before the show would start was singing, shouting, Happy Rusev Day, Happy Rusev Day, Rusev Day, Rusev Day. That was so over, and I felt like WWE just dropped the ball that time. But imagine now if Rusev came back, Miro came back to WWE as Rusev, brought back the Rusev Day gimmick, he would get that over under Triple H era. So if I'm Alexa Bliss, I would think hard. I would continue to play hardball because you know your worth. You are one of those back pillars in that women's division that held it down a long time when it was only maybe 4 or 5 of y'all. Becky, Sasha, Naomi, Nia, Alexa Bliss, Bayley. It was only 6 of y'all strong that were holding it down. The rest of the people were up and coming in NXT, what we have now. Bianca was just cutting her teeth down in NXT. She hadn't even made it to the main roster yet. If I'm Alexa Bliss, I got that to gamble, but I would think hard before I walk out that door and head to AEW. When Cody walked out to go to the Indies, he had something to prove. Alexa Bliss doesn't have nothing to prove. She's a household name. If she goes to AEW, she'll get washed down the cycle. Tony has too many people on the roster. Right now in WWE, there's a spot for her on SmackDown or Raw. 5 feet of Blurry, she could come back as 5 feet of Fury and come back and just wreak havoc that way. It's a spot for her. It's not a chance for her to leave right now. And if you did leave, follow the Naomi Trinity 5-2 steps. Go to the partnership company. Go to TNA. Run that Knockouts division. And you still can appear on NXT. You can appear at the Royal Rumble. That's the best option because right now we can arguably say WWE's leading the pack. And I know there's a lot of people watch the show that's AEW people. I'm an AEW guy. I don't knock AEW. I just wish some things on AEW they did would just catch up right now because I feel like they're losing the race to the machine WWE. So WWE's right here. Locking that partnership in with TNA is right here. AEW is kind of like right here. There's a gap. And a lot of people say, how would you put TNA right there? They locked in a partnership with the biggest corporation that produces professional wrestling. And AEW had that, but we'll go back and say, I think when AEW had that, you had guys like Don Collins that was just trying to get AEW. So he was doing whatever he had to do for TNA to get TNA on AEW television. So when his contract expired, AEW would pick him up. I felt like that was all Don Collins was doing. You saw a lot of TNA guys shuffle over there. Well, what happened when their contracts ended in TNA? AEW picked them up, and now they're lost in that shuffle. Alexa Bliss should think very, very hard before making that decision like Cody made years ago when he walked out to the Indies. Right now, the Indies are just not on fire. Ring of Honor is owned by Tony Khan, AEW. It's not on fire. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a good promotion. Chris Jericho's the World Heavyweight Champion. And I like Jericho. I'm a learning tree guy, but you got to start thinking at the age Jericho is, when he's your heavyweight champion, he's not a transitional champion. Do you have a plan for Ring of Honor? Do you have a plan for AEW? You got to start thinking. This is what I always said about AEW. You got to have some people in there that know how to produce a professional wrestling show. And I think when Cody left, you saw the wheels falling off of the wagon right there. Because I think Cody's one of those executive producer minds who knew how to produce a professional wrestling show. Whereas the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, they just know how to wrestle good. They can put on great matches. They probably can write great matches, but they just don't know the production side of how to produce a 2-hour, 3-hour show on a national syndicated cable television channel or on a national streaming device channel. They just don't know how to do it yet. Will they get it? They can, but not right now. Alexa Bliss, if I'm you, work out the kinks, get that contract right, come back in that Royal Rumble next week, and let's get started on either SmackDown or Raw. You got a heel champ over there on SmackDown, Tiffany Stratton. You can chase her for that. You can throw her on Raw, make her a heel again, have her chase Rhea. Her and Rhea has some good matches. Her and Nia has some good matches. Her and Bayley has some good matches. Just think about it, Alexa, before you walk out of that WWE door. As in the famous words of Triple H, it's on fire right now. This is Shawn on WOD. I'm about to hop into a very brief commercial break. Then we'll be right back to break down Saturday Night Main Event and give you some predictions on Saturday Night Main Event. This is Shawn. You're watching WOD on the Boom Broadcasting Network.
I debate all day. It's what I do. But there are some things that are undebatable, like your mental health, my own mental health. I was in a dark place when my brother passed away in a car accident. I've never been more devastated than the day I lost my mom. I was depressed, miserable, in ways I never imagined. I reached out, and my sisters came, my pastor, my therapist. They helped me get through it. I found that the more I spoke up, the healthier my mind became. The chaos that was in me began to subside. I was more focused, clear. When you love your mind, you can go so much further. That's not up for debate. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Welcome back, friends. Welcome back right here to WOD on the Boom Broadcasting Network. It's Saturday night. We're going to get another one. The first one was outstanding. They did an outstanding job taking us back, putting us in that time machine, going back to the 80s and 90s when Saturday Night Main Event was your free premium live event back when WWE, formerly known as WWF, only did 4 premium live events. You had the Rumble, you had SummerSlam, you had Survivor Series, and you had Mania at the beginning. So you had Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. Now we got some other ones out there, Elimination Chamber, TLC. But I remember also in the 90s, the Saturday Night Main Event was for non-WWE, WWF back then, watchers to get their eyes on this. It was on Primetime Network TV, NBC, 7, 8 o'clock slot start time. A lot of games were not going on that evening. So after a basketball game rolled off NBC, you went straight to Saturday Night Main Event, and it was to be able to get some new people to put some eyes on the product. Bringing it back now, using nostalgia with the old school referee wearing the bow tie and the blue shirt, the black slacks and the black New Balance shoes, seeing the red, white, and blue ropes, seeing the old school, just everything with it, bringing it back that old school. And it's just so great to have Saturday Night Main Event back. Now, the one discomfort I have about the Saturday Night Main Event is you got Saturday Night Main Event this Saturday night. Then the following Saturday, you got Royal Rumble. And I think they just timed this one wrong. And WWE, what I would say, they can get it right, they can get it wrong. I don't think this is one to hammer them on for getting it wrong. I just think it was bad timing. Bad timing on the cup. They probably said, hey, let's throw a Saturday Night Main Event on this Saturday night. Then a couple weeks later, hey, we're planning for Saturday Night Main Event. Oh, did you know Royal Rumble's next Saturday? It is? Didn't know that. We got to roll with it now. We're selling tickets. Merchandise has been sold for it. So we got to go. We're advertising. I think if WWE took the thinking of what they did back in the 90s when you had the Big Four and you had those in-your-house pay-per-views on the off month. The in-your-house pay-per-views in the 90s was a Saturday Night Main Event on pay-per-view at a lower rate. So you were paying that 60, 70 bucks for those Big Four. But in your house, you can get it maybe for 35 bucks. And that was the one that mom and dad always let me get in your houses. Hey, if I did good, got some good grades, I maybe could get one of the Big Four. But definitely in your house, if I did good, kept the grades right, mom and dad would say, okay, son, it's Saturday. In your house, you can order it. And I didn't have to watch it. The podcast committee probably remembers this one. This is definitely around me, this era now. Tell our age. Wayne the model probably remembers this too. Tell all our ages right now. Remember when you had to watch the premium live bits on the 90 and 100 channels? And if you didn't have the box with the converter in it, or you didn't have the brown Zenith cable box, you couldn't get it for free. You had to have somebody who could hook that box up when you could get it for free. If you couldn't get it for free and you were like me, mom and dad said, we're not going to do that. We're not buying the chip to put in the box to get free shows, get us in trouble. You must be crazy, Shawn. What I would have to do is watch it in black and white. It would be a black and white image that was real glossy. You could hear the sound, everything going on. You could see the wrestlers' names. You just didn't get it in color. You got it in like an all black and white. It was like more of a fuzzy thing. And I watched that for 3 hours. And my mom was like, you're going to kill your eyes when you wake up in the morning. Well, I'm still working good at the age I am now, so I guess it didn't hurt me. So mom was probably wrong on that one. But it was a good time. And that's what Saturday Night Main Event, that's what WWE have to do with the Saturday Night Main Events now. Treat like in your houses. Do it on the off month, and it will be great. First match I want to start off with on the card, Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu. Let's open up Saturday Night Main Event with two of the biggest bulls in WWE. Put one in the red corner, one in the blue corner, ring the bell, get out of the way, referee, and just let them fight. That's the whole match right there. Don't get in the way. Let them fight. I want to see some blood in this one. And Braun's that guy. When there's an up-and-coming big guy that we need to get over, who better put him over than the biggest SOB in WWE, Braun Strowman? Put Braun in this match. Him and Jacob probably would tear the house down if they let him go in. And especially with Jacob. If Jacob can dig back into some of that MLW, ROW, reality of wrestling stuff he did at Booker T shows, if they can let him dig back into that, if we can see him as a true threat, a true big man, and I mean, it can be a squash match without having to be a squash match. If we can get that with Jacob Fatu, with him and Braun, at least give them 15 to 20 minutes. And I know a lot of people saying right now, 20 minutes for a Braun Strowman match, that's unheard of. Jacob can do the 20 minutes. If Braun just listens to Jacob, let Jacob lead this match. He can do the 20 minutes. Get out of the way. Put both of them in the ring. One in the blue corner, one in the ring corner. Ring the bell, and Charles Robinson run for cover and let them fight. That's this entire match. Needs to end with either a Jacob Fatu win, a Jacob Fatu disqualification, or a double count out. A double count out or a Jacob Fatu disqualification. A count out on Jacob Fatu hurts him. A disqualification of Jacob Fatu doesn't hurt him. It makes him look more devious as a heel now that he's a true monster. He had Braun Strowman in let's just say a chokehold. He wouldn't let go. Jacob Fatu is literally crazy. This guy is trying to hurt people, kill people. Corey Graves can tell that story. This needs to be a Corey Graves story to tell after this match, because when Corey Graves breaks down Jacob Fatu, he doesn't get the respect he needs. When he talks about Jacob Fatu, he knows how to put that fear in his voice to make you feel like he's feared for his life when Jacob Fatu is around. This is what we need. Or you need Jacob Fatu just to pin on 1, 2, 3 and move on to the next one. Open up with this one right here. Let those two men tear the house down. Get the crowd going. Get the blood flowing. Get everybody jacked up for Saturday Night Main Event after this match, waiting for our next match, which will be our World Heavyweight Women's match, Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. We already know Nia's not winning this match. Rhea just won the title back at Saturday Night Main Event. She's not dropping it on this Saturday Night Main Event. What, a month and a half later, she's not going to drop it. But Nia's that type of heel that her work has got better. And with her work getting better, Rhea can do some good stuff in this match. And they book Mommy to be a dominant wrestler over everybody she faces. That's how she's been booked. Make it look like Nia. Do some false finishes with Nia. Have some false finishes with Nia. Make Nia do what Nia does best. Have Nia hit that annihilator and Rhea kicks out. Make that a big comeback for Rhea. Have Nia getting some big moves on this match. Like I said, we know Nia's not winning this one. This is very predictable. Jacob Braun, you don't know what could happen, but this one is very predictable for the second match on the card. Rhea's going to win. Riptide to Nia. but let Nia have a good showing. You got to remember, Nia's just coming off losing her WWE Women's Championship to a cash in by Tiffany Stratton. They never finished that story. You could have sent Nia to SmackDown and kept on SmackDown to finish that story, but you brought her to Raw to be the chaser to Rhea. So Rhea has some people to beat, getting to that Charlotte Flair match. Oh, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Just spoiled out for Royal Rumble. That's where they're heading. Rhea Charlotte, number 3. You got her a good match to get there. Let's let Nia have a good show. And hey, I told people Nia should get Comeback Wrestler of the Year once again for 2024. She brought back a good dominant presence to heel. She's a hated wrestler with the fans, and she's got a lot going on. And you can't sit here and say that her in-ring performance has not got better. If you sit here and say that it's still the same, then I don't know what you've been watching. Nia's work in the ring, on the mic, her presence on the camera has just gotten better throughout this run right here in WWE. She won't win. Rhea will win, but make Nia look good taking this loss. We're getting ready to jump into a commercial break right here on WOD, and we will be back to break down the final 2 matches of Saturday Night Main Event and a contract signing. You're watching WOD on the Boom Broadcasting. Let's go.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to WOD right here on the Boom Broadcasting. Let's jump right back into the Saturday Night Main Event predictions right here on today's episode of WOD. So we had a hot opening match. We had Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu tore the house down. Had a great women's match who they ended up fighting on Friday night. You saw a little glimpse of what Rhea and Nia can do, something we've seen before they go one-on-one, but we know Mommy came on top on that one and won this one. So now we're getting to that IC title. The IC champ, Braun Breaker versus Sheamus. And the story the whole entire year and a half for Sheamus has been, he's won everything except the IC title. World Heavyweight Champ, check. WWE Champ, check. United States Champ, check. Multiple tag team champ. One of the best tag teams I remember was The Bar, check. King of the Ring winner, check. Royal Rumble winner, check. He's been the sole survivor of a Survivor Series team, check. He's won Money in the Bank. Sheamus has won every big match in WWE except this one that'll lose him, the IC title. And you feel like this is the night. If you can't do it on a big premium live event, then do it on the Saturday Night Main Event, because we have to have at least one title change. And I hate that it has to happen like this. Yes, I'm saying Sheamus would win. But since Braun Breaker won the IC title the first time, he was red hot. Great match, won the title. Dropped it to Sammy, won it back again. And it just seems like it's been stale on Braun. And it goes back to the first ever Raw on Netflix back in January, the first Monday of January. Great matches that night. But you did not have your IC title on the card that night. When is the last time we seen the IC title defended on a premium live event, on a Saturday Night Main Event, on a SmackDown, on a Raw? Maybe it's been defended on house shows. I'm not for sure. Haven't been keeping up with the house show circuit of the card. But we have not seen it on the Netflix streaming app on Raw. We haven't seen it on SmackDown. Haven't seen it on Saturday Night Main Event, the first one, or a premium live event. Since Braun has won the title back, he's grown stale with it. And You hate to say that about Braun's growing still with it because Braun has a bright future in the WWE, especially on Raw or SmackDown, whichever way he goes. He has a bright future. I think taking him off of Raw when he drops the title, trade him over to SmackDown, give him a fresh start with some new talent will be good. Getting him away from Gunther, or you can keep him on Raw and set him up to go to Gunther. But I'm just disappointed in the booking of the IC title at the present moment because Gunther made that title back the working man's title. And during Gunther's reign of 666 days, they all said that Gunther pretty much was the working man's champ, the working man's title. He's going to defend this title night in, night out on Monday Night Raw, restore prestige back to that title. And I myself felt like Gunther did that. And I felt like Gunther dropping it to Sami Zayn at Mania was great because it once again was another underdog story for Sami Zayn to overcome the adversity, overcome the odds, and win the title. And I told everybody, Sami Zayn is today's Ricky Morton. He's the Ricky Morton of today. That's what Ricky Morton did with the Rock and Roll Express with Robert Gibson. He always found a way to overcome the odds, to beat the bigger opponent, to keep the titles on the Rock and Roll Express. Robert Gibson was just the bread and butter. He was the powerhouse, but it was all Ricky Morton for the selling of being the short overcoming guy to beat the powerhouse and to win the game, to win the match. I felt like after that, with Braun winning the title off of Sammy, we would get another good, decent run with Braun. He dropped it, then he won it back, and now it's just grown stale where you kind of say, there's the IC champ, but what's he doing? They show him on the show in the audience with the title, but he's not performing. Gunther once again made that title so prestigious. I don't think it's lost its prestigious, but I think it's grown stale on Braun. This is the perfect time to put it on Sheamus, make Sheamus a Grand Slam champion, and he's won everything, just like The Miz. The Miz is in that category. He's won everything. Well, I don't know. The Miz won a Royal Rumble. I think The Miz won everything but a Royal Rumble. He's been a sole survivor, but he's the one everything. I think the Royal Rumble will lose to Miz. If he has won a Royal Rumble, drop that in the comment box what year he won it. But I don't recall him winning it. But Sheamus has done everything with the IC title. You feel like this is the night. Tonight is the night. Sheamus will win the IC title. Get that big hurrah. And Sheamus is not on the back nine, but he's somebody now that when he drops that IC title to an up-and-coming heel, it drops back to Braun Breaker and they repackage him, or he can drop it to anybody else that's a heel, you're going to feel like Sheamus is going to be the watchdog now and kind of take that role that the Undertaker had of putting over young guys to make them look good. Kind of what the Undertaker did at the last tidbits of his run in WWE when he was just doing the Mania matches, kind of putting over the younger talent to look, kind of usher in the younger talent. You feel like that's what Sheamus is getting ready to kind of go to after this IC title run. So I think they want to give Sheamus one last Raw, one last hurrah, give him the title, make him the first person that has won everything that a WWE superstar can attain in WWE, and then pretty much let him be the guy on the way out in a couple of years. Say, hey, I'll put over a young talent. I'll go out there and have a good 15, 20-minute banger match with a young talent. Let them get the win. My time is up. I know I'm a Hall of Famer, first-round ballot. Just let me help out in any way I can. And I can see Sheamus going to NXT as a trainer down there and helping the young up-and-talent and giving them pointers. Sheamus has done a lot behind the scenes for WWE. He's going to be a guy that when he hangs it up, he's going to be around WWE for a long time after he finally walks out the door. Sheamus for the win for the IC title, eluding him. That one time that's eluded him of that Grand Slam championship and said, I did every accomplishment you can do as a WWE superstar. Now we have a contract signing right here in the Saturday night main event in San Antonio, Texas. No other than the Mr. WrestleMania, the showstopper, the main eventer himself, Shawn Michaels, being pretty much the mediator, the moderator, because he's going to mediate between Cody and KO. The moderator, he's going to kind of do the talking and then kind of let them talk. for this contract signing. Nick Aldis really built this up saying, these two guys hate each other so much to let me bring in the NXT producer, HBK, Mr. WrestleMania, to be the guy to moderate this contract signing to make sure it don't go south. Great send off for Shawn. The guy deserves to get the hometown pop when this music hits. He's in San Antonio, his hometown. They're going to pop. People are going to go crazy. HBK on a WWE show and not NXT. It's going to be big. It's going to be big. It's kind of fun. I always say the two guys of DX now are running WWE from a production role. This is why WWE is going at the level it said. Triple H is handling the hymns of Raw and SmackDown. Shawn is handling NXT. This is why you see both of these productions move the direction they're going. This is going to be good. This does not have to be any action during this contract signing. It just needs to be good promo. Michael's a little bit on the promo. Cody cuts a promo. KO cuts a promo with that Wing Eagle belt. And I'm going to say it right now. I watched KO on Friday night. First of all, wearing the Sami Zayn Forever shirt is just hats off to him. The Bret the Hitman Hart coat, hats off to KO. KO is having his best run as a heel ever. And I always say that. And I feel so bad. Because even if you're new to WOD, or if you haven't heard me on other podcasts, I always say when Kevin Owens is a heel, he's having his best heel run. Arguably, this is the greatest heel run he has ever had in WWE. And I said it last week on the Nightcap with Mountain Off with Mike. Somewhere Jim Cornette is sitting somewhere in Louisville, Kentucky, watching SmackDown as much as Kevin Steen, known in Ring of Honor, Kevin Owens in WWE, as much as Steen drove Jim Cornette crazy Ring of Honor. If you listen to Jim Cornette's The Podcast of the Spirits, he'll tell you great stories about how Kevin Steen just drove him up a wall. Somewhere he listened. Somewhere, one of those nights when he was getting on Jim Cornette's nerves, he took Cornette's advice, and now 15 years later is used it in this heel run against Cody. Arguably, this is the greatest story that we have from Cody since coming out of the bloodline. Coming out of the Roman Reigns bloodline, Cody was just kind of bouncing off, even to the point where I was saying, maybe Cody needs to drop the title. This Kevin Owens resurgence as a heel chasing the babyface Cody has got me back invested in Cody, and it's got me wondering if KO at Royal Rumble will beat Cody and win both WWE titles. Will he take home the Wing Eagle title and the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship? I don't know. This is great work from KO. I am very, very impressed with what KO has been able to do on this run. Cody cut a good promo Friday night. KO also came out, cut a good promo with Joe and Wade Barrett. Just let them talk. You don't need to see action. We don't need to see KO try to hit a move that hurt Cody. If you do that for storytelling and have Cody come into next week's Royal Rumble, with a banged up shoulder or banged up ribs and find a way to overcome the adversity in the ladder match to beat KO, hey, that's going to just add more flavor to it. But I don't think you need that. I think you just need both of them, a table. Michaels opens up on the mic, gives it to Cody, gives it to KO. They sign the contract, and that's it. That's all you need, like how we would treat it if it was on a SmackDown. This is going to be big right here if they do it right. And I always say about WWE, when they do it right, they hit a home run every time. But when they do it wrong and they just go a little bit farther past that margin of where they need to go, it could be a stinker. So we'll see on the contract signing on Saturday Night Main Event. This is Shawn. You're watching WOD. We're going to hop into one more commercial break, and then we'll have our main event for Saturday Night Main Event. The Ring General, Gunther, defending his World Heavyweight Championship against no other than Main Event Jey Uso. Yeet. You're watching WOD on the Boom Broadcasting.
Buckle up! Nobody is more prepared for an emergency than Dogman.
With all your kung fu skills and your canine fortitude or whatnot.
But for the rest of us, a good plan goes a long way.
Come on, let's go!
So, whether it's an unexpected disaster or the world's most evilest cat bent on destroying all do-gooders,
Destroy all do-gooders!
you can help your family be ready for anything.
No time to waste.
Get started today at ready.gov/kids.
Welcome back to WOD right here on the Boom Broadcasting Network on YouTube. Don't forget, hit like if you like this video and also hit subscribe. The more subscribers we have, the more content we can bring you right here on the Boom Broadcast. So if you have not hit that subscribe button, what are you waiting on? Go ahead, hit it right now while you're watching WOD and pick right back up where you're at. And don't forget, give me that thumbs up if you like this video. Now it's time for the main event. The Ring General Gunther versus the hottest person right now in WWE, main event Jey Uso. If Royal Rumble wasn't next week, could we be saying main event Jey Uso knocks off Gunther? If Gunther had a long reign, he was in day 450, day 555, day 789. Day 1,125. Could we say Jey Uso could beat him? Arguably, yes. I would say it. I would say this is Jey's time. Jey wants that big singles run. He has broken out from the bloodline. He's no longer the Marty Jannetty to Roman Reigns. He, to me, has stepped out and surpassed Roman Reigns with stardom, fan power. And you know, when Roman Reigns repackaged Jey Uso. We're not going to say WWE repackaged Jey Uso because they had a plan for Jey Uso. Just not the plan that we see now before our eyes. Roman Reigns started that main event Jey Uso. Really got that to get in people's heads. Jey Uso used that a lot during the bloodline that he was main event Jey Uso. And I remember the first time they said main event Jey Uso. I said, we're going to call this guy main event Jey Uso. And not one time has he ever main event a SmackDown, a Raw, a premium live event, nothing. The only thing he ever main event was with the Usos, and that was Battlegrounds several years ago when it was Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, and they were on the pre-show. And they were the only team from Raw to win. They were the tag champs. They took on the New Day, who were the tag champs on SmackDown. Even though SmackDown won the Battlegrounds, they were the only Raw team to win that night, as SmackDown ran a clean sweep on the premium live event. I said, so what has Jey Uso main event to get the title main event Jey Uso? He only had one main event. Now he's had several. WrestleMania, SmackDown, Raw, you name other premium live events, Tribal Combat with Roman Reigns, the Usos versus Roman Reigns and Solo. So many main events he had. He has lived up to the name. He has surpassed Roman Reigns and has broken out. He's no longer the Marty Jannetty to Big Jim, the Marty Jannetty to Roman Reigns, the cousin to Roman Reigns, the little cousin to Roman Reigns. He has surpassed Roman Reigns and he has found his niche as a singles competitor. And I really think it's going to be hard to put the Usos back together. You're talking about maybe 3 to 4 years before we even see a reunion of the Usos. We may get spots on where you get an Usos tag match versus somebody here and there. You know, Big Jim's getting beat up by two people. Jey makes the save. Next week it's the main event on SmackDown. You may see that. But I really think it's going to be 3 to 4 years before you see a true Uso reunification of them coming back together being a full-time tag team. Yes, I really think it's going to be that long because that's how big Jey Uso is. But as I said, if this was day 450, 679, 892, 999, 1,145 days, if this is where we was at with Gunther's title reign, it will be time for Jey to win it. And who will be the better person to beat Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship but main event Jey Uso? But Gunther kind of has gotten stale. Not as a champion, because he's not doing what he did with the IC title when he was fighting night in, night out. We're not getting that no more. We're just getting Gunther. Cutting promos. Gunther being ringside. And as a champ, especially when you're the World Heavyweight Champ, you don't have to defend the title every Monday Night Raw. You're the heavyweight champ. You deserve that break. Now, Do we want what we saw with Goldberg, Braun Strowman, and them when they were the champ, on Premium Live events? No, we don't want that. You can throw Gunther in a tag match that night. You can throw Gunther in maybe a triple tag team match, stuff like that. So you can find ways to throw him in where he doesn't have to defend his title every Monday night. That's what I see titles for on Netflix. It's to be the working man's title. That's why I believe Sheamus is going to get it to reestablish that, and so they can repackage Braun. But Gunther doesn't have to do that. And Gunther has not had a good match since really him and Cody in Saudi Arabia, which he lost. After that, he beat Priest and Balor at the last Saturday Night Main Event. So he's not really had that one good match. You can say, man, that was a damn good Gunther match. We haven't seen one in a while. And I'm a Gunther guy. I like the ring general. This is his match. This is the guy, the overest guy on Monday Night Raw versus the champ. Everybody's going in feeling like Jay's going to win. Gunther. This will not be a powerbomb 1, 2, 3. This will be a Gunther put Jay to sleep match. He's going to put Jay to sleep. Night, Jay. And it's not going to hurt Jay at all. People are not going to be hurt. Because Jay's right now on that level that if he loses with a 1, 2, 3 by the powerbomb, if he goes to sleep and passes out, and I really think having him pass out, go to sleep, saves Jay even more, because you can have Jay fight that sleeper all the way to the last second where he finally passes out and they drop the arm 3 times and they ring the bell. And it's no hurt to Jay because you can go back after that and give the backstory. Said he took Gunther to the limit. He never tapped out. He passed out. And he even fought his way to pad before he passed out. He fought all the way to the final second where he could not breathe no more. And Gunther put him to sleep. That's how you got to do it. No, we don't need the Gunther bomb 1, 2, 3. Do that. And it doesn't hurt Jay. Jay's on a level right down that Jay could lose 4 or 5 matches in a row. He's still going to be over. The fans are still going to get behind him because he has something that people can relate to. He's somebody you didn't see, kind of like LA Knight. Him and LA Knight got so much similarity right now because they're 2 guys you didn't see becoming mega stars. You saw them as mid-carders, not guys that you could take seriously as here's a guy that could go fight, Gunther could go fight Cody. Here are guys that could do that and have a good chance of winning. This is going to be a good match right here. This is going to be a Gunther Shawn match. Jay will look good and very polished in this match, but Gunther will win with the sleeper in this match. I'm looking forward to this one. Another great match right here on Saturday Night Main Event. Jay loses this match, but Jay does not have nothing stop and slow him down at the rate he's moving right now in WWE as being the hottest star on the WWE roster, on the Raw's Netflix roster right now. So my picks once again is Jacob Fatu over Braun Strowman, Rhea Ripley over Nia Jax. Sheamus finally wins that one title that has eluded him his illustrious career, beats Braun Breaker, becomes the IC champ, makes it back to working man title, makes it a working man title on Raw's Netflix. Braun either goes to SmackDown and gets repackaged or gets repackaged on Monday Night Raw and comes back and beats Sheamus later on down the road to win that IC title back. And they got to get Braun going. You can't keep hitting the switch off and on with Braun. Right now, that's what you've been doing on both title reigns. We need to see more of that. Gunther retains the World Heavyweight Champ and puts Jay to sleep. Don't forget, following Saturday Night Main Event, jump right back here on Boom Broadcasting. That's why you got to subscribe. That's why you got to hit that bell notification. That's why you got to give all these videos the big thumbs up, the likes, so that you can stay in the loop of what's going on. Because soon as Saturday Night Main Event ends, my good friend, my good brother, Mountain Off with Mike, will be hosting the Saturday Night Main Event nightcap, recapping everything that happened on Saturday Night Main Event. So make sure, soon as Saturday Night Main Event ends on your live stream, you hop on the tablet, laptop, computer, smartphone, smartwatch, whatever device you got to watch Boom Broadcasting. You hop on there, watch the live stream of the nightcap with Mountain Off with Mike as he breaks down what happens on Saturday Night Main Event. This is Shawn. Enjoy your Saturday Night Main Event, and I'll see you on the nightcap.